On today's show, I'll be talking to Dominique. She sent in 4 dreams, and I asked her would she come on the show. 2 of the dreams are what I'm going to cover in detail, and I might just drop into the other 2 to pull out pieces. I have a feeling she knows what the dreams might be about, but in the dream she's teaching people how to play music in a school. And so I'm going to ask her before we start off, has she any idea what they're about? Because that'll be interesting. I also speak to Camille. She is coming back with a special event that she's putting together that's totally free, that's all about ancient healing energies. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and dreamers on their journey. And by dreamers, I mean you. If you want to know where you're meant to be in your life, what you're meant to be doing right now at this very moment, then look no further than your dreams, because it's all in there. Everything about every step in your life. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you what your superpowers are, what makes you magnificent, what makes you shine, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way, they are the way. You need these bumps, and you need to overcome them by working on the issues that they actually link to in childhood. To get your dream analyzed on my show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast. And you could submit your dream there. You can also see the archives of all the previous show, or listen to them anyway. On my website, they're all audio only. So I said I would have Camille on the show. So let's start straight off with that. Hi, Camille. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Now, you've got a special event coming up. And the reason I have you on the show is because I've worked with you extensively. And it's always great to see somebody who slides down the slippery slope into the spiritual field and does something to discover their gifts and who they are, and just keeps pursuing that path, because there's far too few people who are doing it. So tell us, what is your event and what brought you to the decision to put this event on?
So my event is called Ancient Energy Healings, which of course you are part of. And my reason for putting it on is because I wanted to bring more awareness to people on how they can actually heal themselves through dream interpretation like you are doing, and through different types of modalities like Reiki and light language and astrology. There's so many things, and shamanism. There's so many things I've discovered. It's been amazing.
And you have all of these different modalities in your event. You're calling Ancient Energy Healing. And it's free. There's a big piece you didn't say. It's free to attend.
Oh, yes.
And it's a series of interviews that you've done with people that you've found fascinating for one reason or other, that are in the healing field. How many different interviews are there, and how long are they?
They're 30 minutes long around, give or take, usually a little bit more. And there's between 20 and 24 speakers, so it's a lot. It was just really, really fun for me. I want to be like Ellen and Oprah now.
So when does this start? When does this event start, and when does it end, and how do people access it?
So you need to sign up through Michael, and the first interview, which is actually going to be you, will start July 1st. And you will have 72 hours from the day it's released to watch any of the interviews. And
so when people sign up, they'll get the link from me, but they're actually signing up to you. Are you going to send an email for every interview, or for
yes.
Groups?
So it'll run for 15 days.
Oh, okay. So you can just show up and watch the ones that interest you, and you have 72 hours to watch them. That's great. I remember I was talking to you about this some time ago when you were in the planning stages and you were very excited about it. And now you have it all together. You're still excited about it. You don't have an
I
exhausted look.
am. I am because every interview is different, even though some of the modalities are the same. Every person had their own twist to it. They added their personality to it and what they are getting from themselves and their clients. So everyone is different and everyone has a different healing that they specialize in. So that's the interesting part. It's yeah, it's just amazing how each person can just add their own twist and specialize.
All right. And you said that what inspired you was that you went on your own healing journey and that inspired you by necessity to see what is there to help you. Um,
Yes.
Presumably you had success. Otherwise you wouldn't be inspired.
Um, I've had success and I've also had more things show up, which I was also able to overcome. Some of the things that I've had were health issues and actual physical things that other energy healers were able to see that some medical doctors couldn't. So that's where the success was because even though I went through modern medicine, I knew there was still something more that I could do and really, really get to the root of it. And that's the part I wanted. I didn't just want to treat the symptoms.
Right. Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, I wish you every success with it. And you're promoting, what did you say? Many people, many interviews?
Between 20 and 24 interviews, different people around the world, not just here in the States. So that was the fascinating part too. It was around the world. I was able to find.
Well, that's great. It sounds fantastic. I'm looking forward to the interviews myself. And thanks for coming on the show and telling us a little bit about it.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. So how do you get on that? The link for Camille is dream-analysis.com/Camille. And you can spell that any way you want. Camille is the correct way. Or you can misspell it with one L and it'll still get to her. dream-analysis.com/Camille. Totally free. Get on the list. Get the emails about all the interviews and then watch the ones that interest you and ignore the ones that don't interest you. And I'll be on that. So that's my involvement, my way of supporting Camille with this. So now I want to get Dominique on the line. We won't see video, but at least she's agreed to come on the show. So let's go. So hi, Dominique. Thank you very much for agreeing to be a guest on the show. So,
hi, Michael. Good to be with you.
All right. So we've got two of your dreams. I'm going to read them out and then I'm going to go back over them. First dream first. Well, I think you've been following the show for a very long time. Do you have an idea about what your dreams about the music teacher and the taking the class at Ann Tucker's? Do you have any idea about what they're about?
Well, for the music teacher, I figured that was about channeling because of the music symbol, but potentially, I guess, maybe teaching channeling because of the teacher component.
Excellent.
And then I guess there's also like the class part of it in the second dream with Anne. So maybe more of the same with that theme.
All right. And so now that you hit the nail on the head, what's your view of teaching? Are you comfortable with it?
I really don't have any experience teaching. So I would say my comfort level is low.
All right. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the dreams, but that's great. I'm delighted that you got it. So first one, I was picked to be the music teacher. So of course, from the title straight away, we know that means this is your path. You're the chosen one, let's say. So I was late to the first day of school. The twist on this typical dream was that I had been chosen to be a teacher at my high school. School started at 8 a.m. and I arrived at 8:20 a.m. When I arrived, I was given my assignment of all the classes I would be teaching. I had 8 classes, each of them teaching music in a different capacity. The first class of the day was teaching the band class. Other classes were one-to-one tutoring with students who played different musical instruments. I was so excited that I would get to teach fun and creative classes, but then I began to get nervous because I didn't remember how to read music, and I worried I would let the students down and embarrass myself. I wasn't sure why they chose me to teach this. So first of all, this is exactly the way most dreams go. They start off, well, in fact, yours is a little better than most because you're excited in the beginning, and then you get embarrassed and nervous and worried. A lot of the time, we just come straight out of the gate with, I'm nervous about this. I don't think you've got the right person. It's a different Dominique. Didn't you know? Anyway, so back to the start. I was late to the first day of school. So that says this is your karmic path with you being late. So you're meant to do it. Why does it mean karma? It means karma because you know that you're meant to be doing this at a soul level. And so when they bring it up in a dream, you're like immediately going, oh yeah, I'm meant to be doing that. And so the late feeling is because you already know. The twist on this typical dream, you've been chosen to be the teacher at your high school. Do you play music?
I grew up playing violin, but not anymore.
Okay. School started at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. says it's good. It's anything in the a.m. is really good in dreams. But this is saying that you have to work through your feminine energy, work through expanding your heart. So feelings, it's all about feelings for you right now. And I arrived at 8:20, so the 8:20 tells us it's channeling because of the 2 in the number. And then you say, when I was arrived, I was given my assignment of all the classes that I would be teaching. So you're going to be teaching more than just one thing. You're going to be teaching groups because you had 8 classes. The 8 really emphasizes, really punching on the feminine energy component of what it is you're meant to be doing. So 8 classes, each of them teaching music in a different capacity. So you've got lots of skill in this area. The first class of the day was teaching the band class. And so that's a group. And that's also people who are all at different levels, all different instruments. Well, not necessarily different levels, but different instruments. So different methods of channeling. So you're going to teach people, I teach channeling classes myself, so I know how this relates. You can have a group of 15 people, and 2 could work through clairsentience, 2 could work through clairaudience, others could work through clairvoyance. There's lots of different ways, and even with those things, there's variations of the different methods. And this dream says that you're able to work with a group and work with them regardless of their specific method. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
It makes sense, but what about the idea of it? You said you've no experience doing this, but do you think it's something you could do?
I do. I think most of my hesitation is just because I haven't been channeling that long. So the jump from student to teacher feels, I guess, kind of big, big and maybe quick. It feels a little fast.
All right. Other classes were one-to-one tutoring with students who played different musical instruments. Again, so you're going to do group and you're going to do one-to-one. I was so excited that I would get to teach fun and creative classes, but then I began to get nervous. So this is your nervousness around the teaching. But what you're meant to have in it is, like you said at the start, you're meant to be creative with it, have fun doing it. And then you say, because I didn't remember how to read music. So, of course, we call it giving a reading if somebody has a session with you. And so reading, there's often a pun in dreams like this, and here we have it in yours. And so the remembering it is, it's like we come in with these abilities. You brought this ability with you, and you had it in all its clarity at the start of your life. And the not remembering is just, hey, there's been a gap between when I remembered how to do this and now. And that's all it is. But the idea, again, in the dream is you're meant to have fun. It's going to come back to you. It's not going to be a problem. And you say, I worried I would let the students down and embarrass myself. I wasn't sure why they chose me to teach this. Say the last part we can kind of ignore, but the embarrassing yourself. So this is going to be probably the big element that you have to work on, overcoming the idea that you could fail so badly that you would be so mortified. Is that something that really grips you, the whole idea of that?
Yeah, I would say so.
And do you know where it comes from? Because it's not going to come from channeling, I can guarantee you.
Probably early childhood patterns sort of thing. Just being cognizant of what other people think.
I'm just going to skip real fast to another dream you sent in, but I'm not doing it on the show. And the dream is called Old Hag. And you say the coach of the best college, yeah, the coach of the best college lacrosse team in the US wanted me to play for her. So similar theme, right? Best college lacrosse team. I thought she was expecting me to be a disappointment, but she truly just believed in me. So this is about mom. Mom is the old hag. The woman in the dream is playing that role, but she's also not her, of course, because you say she's blonde, wearing light blue. So she's a spiritual stand-in. She's a guide, really. And you said, I thought she was expecting me to be a disappointment. So that means that this feeling of disappointing others comes from issues with mom in childhood. And that's what it is. It's nothing to do with your channeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's more in that dream, but we see it in other dreams. You don't ask people for help. Why do you not ask people for help?
Having the belief that I need to do things myself, from being let down, probably.
So you being let down, but also there's going to be more to it than that. It's like, would you be embarrassed to ask somebody for help? Would it, would there be a sense of, oh, I should be able to do this on my own, and here I am having to ask somebody for help?
Yeah, that's closer to the feeling. Like I feel like I need to know how to do things.
Yeah, and so that means when you were younger, somebody made you feel that you should be able to do this on your own, and you shouldn't be asking for help. And it's crazy that you don't know how to do things, and you're a disappointment. That's the big stuff you've got to get out of the way. That's where all your personal growth is. And I'm sure you've done some of that work, but it still can kind of hang over you when you go to do something new, something big like this. And so I'm pointing it out for you to realize it has nothing whatsoever to do with you channeling, but it's sucking all the fun out of the idea of you teaching other people to channel. So if you could go into it like in an experimental way where people say, here, I'm going to teach this class. And the idea is for us just to have fun. We'll see if it works. And we're doing it as a pilot, and this is the cost, or whatever way you want to do it. But do it in a way, at least first time round, take the pressure off so that you're able to have fun. And that's it. You know, if you have the fun element working, then it's going to be fine. Anyway, let's go back to your next dream because it's much more interesting. Taking a class at Anne Tucker's house. And of course, listeners, regular listeners to this show will know who Anne Tucker is. Very good friend of mine. She does trans-channeled group readings for people. Really catapults people forward on their journey. But a trans channel is probably the best description you could give of her. And so with trans channels, they go into a trance state, kind of like a hypnotic state. Often they don't know what they just said when they come out of that state. So just laying the groundwork for it. So that's who Anne is. So here we go. Dream starts. I'm going to read it again first, and then we will I'll read pieces of it and then we'll come back to it. I was late to the first day of school, similar to the previous dream. This time I was taking a class but wasn't sure what I had signed up for. When I arrived, I saw that Anne Tucker was teaching it. Instead of a podium, she was sitting in a bed that was facing a room full of students. Now, do you know why she's sitting in the bed, given how I described her? Any ideas?
For trance channeling.
Exactly. You're going to be asleep when you're channeling.
I did not get that. Did not get that till just now. Oh, cool.
So, can you trance channel?
I've had experiences where I've, basically like it would feel like I would be astral traveling, but while I'm awake, in terms of really feeling like I'm going somewhere else, or really entering into another sort of zone of consciousness. But it's more something I feel like I dip into it. It's like I will be channeling, and then it's just like a deeper flow where I won't remember what I've just said, but it's quick. It's not for very long.
Oh, that's perfect. That's fine. The main thing I was looking for is, are you familiar with it? Anyway, we'll continue on. I went up to her in bed and told her I was signed up for the class. She couldn't find me on the list, so she asked me to point out my name. I quickly found my name. although it wasn't my name as I know it. It was a different name I had never seen and not in a language I recognized, maybe not even human. So this is saying, look, you don't really know who you are. When you get into this channeling, you're going to get much more in touch with who you actually are, especially because you say maybe not even human. And I know you're intending that in a positive way in the dream. So you're going to discover yourself basically through doing this. Then as Anne was talking to her class, I began to make her bed and straighten the blankets. I did this without asking and hoped she would appreciate my help. So that's an interesting thing, that you're doing something for her in the hopes of her appreciating what you're doing. So that's going to be another issue from childhood that you've got to work on. Anne did not comment on the neatness of her bed, and she got up and we walked and talked. So again, this is a mom thing, not getting the recognition from her for things that you did do. This is part of the feminine energy stuff that you've got to overcome. That's why we had all the 8s and so on in your other dream. She'll go from talking to me to calling out instructions to her class. Some of the students I seem to recognize. They all seem to be starting channeling businesses and we're at different stages of launching. So that's your student, the beginner. So Anne then toured me around her home, which was on this high mountaintop looking over the ocean. Upon seeing the view, a student called out with the question of whether it was permissible to charge more for a session if their home had a good view. Yes, of course, according to Anne. So you're going to underprice yourself, basically, is what the dream is saying. Because they don't...
I just added myself.
They don't say, yeah, you can charge more if they think you're already going to be doing fine. Anyway, Anne told me that she had a riding shed that she wanted to take me to, but warned me it was haunted. I told her I didn't want to go in because I could see spirits. She told me to set an intention for protection and it would be fine. We walked through a giant green backyard that looked more like a park or a quad on a college campus and entered the shed, which was quite large. So that's the park and the quad, presumably a green. That's all about this. The way to get into this state is through your heart. But we see that emphasized over and over again. So the heart is all about, feminine energy is about letting go, surrendering, doing it out of compassion, nurturing others, helping, realizing, it's nothing about the logical components of anything. She pointed out all these candles, crystals, and other items that she sold to clients that came for sessions. So you're going to have other things that it's not going to be specifically about you selling candles and crystals. It's saying that you're going to do crystal healing and you're also going to do readings, intuitive readings for people as well as like teaching the channeling classes. I didn't see a desk that she wrote at, this being her writing shed and all, but then saw this vertical secret door that came down to make a desk. I thought that this was very cool. Have you thought about writing?
I mean, not more than just like in my journal, I would say. It's kind of just my private hobby.
Okay, so you're definitely meant to do channeled writing. You're writing on a door, on a secret door. So it's like you're able to access this door that other people don't see. That's why it's a secret door. And open a door into the spirit realm, let's say, and get information that way. And you're going to channel it. So it's definitely something that's coming, but we see a few things that are coming there. That you don't have to do all this at once. And then you say, I have my own meditation/writing shed where I do my channeling and mediumship sessions for clients. I pointed out how mine was about half the size, but still very beautiful. I then told Anne that she absolutely had to come to my home to see my shed and said I would be honored to do a channeling session for her. Anne seemed uninterested and somewhat offended by my invitation, as if to suggest, why would I need to visit your shed when I have this larger and better one? And why would I need to seek out your channeling when my gifts are much more developed? I felt silly for even considering the idea. So again, this isn't Anne. This is you projecting into the dream the childhood issues that you need to overcome in order to really explode this gift for you. You invite her and she says no. So the idea of being rejected really cuts you up. And that really points at the issues with mom that you need to overcome, because that's I didn't feel invited. I didn't feel welcome into the family by mom. It felt like my journey from the spirit world to the physical, almost like it was a mistake, and I never felt like I belong. And you're going to have that sense of not belonging just pervasive in your life. Never, does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That theme of not belonging is a big one.
And so nothing to do with the channeling. And so you do belong here. You do deserve all the encouragement you could get from anybody in this field who's, maybe a little bit more business experience than you, or whatever area you need help in. You have a problem not asking for help. So you need to realize when you feel like you can't ask, that's because of the issues that you've got in a completely different space, all in childhood. Don't let them hold you back. Feeling that people are uninterested in you is one of your issues that you've dragged with you through life. And again, that's a feminine energy issue. That's one you really should work on. Like, you need to do some healing therapy around mom. Even if you've done it before, you need to do some knowing that it impacts this work that you're going to do. And I talked to you before coming on air, and you do have a writing and meditation shed. So that part's real. But still, because you go through a back garden and there is a shed involved, it also points at elimination system issues or digestive system issues. And they're connected to the same thing. So connected to issues around mom. And so working on them is going to help all of that. Is there any part of this dream either of these dreams that you have questions about?
No, it's really clear. I definitely can see the threads going through both the dreams. I guess I think my only question is in terms of the teaching bit, me being that's I'm supposed to be pursuing that now. This is like a now thing.
Let's see. Yes, it is a now thing. Because you have to overcome a lot of things to make it work. You have to work on the stuff around mom. Not that it wouldn't work anyway, but you're going to come face to face with those issues. And so you're going to need to overcome it. So like, you're everything in the dream. So you're also Ann Tucker in this dream. And you have this wonderful shed with secret doors that turn into a writing desk and all that sort of stuff. But then you have your other shed. And so we see you flipping between, look at this amazing stuff, and then, oh wait, what I have isn't nearly as good as what I need in order to do this work. So you're going between those two states when Anne in the dream compares what she has to what you have, and why would I be interested? And so it's that part where you put yourself down. That's what you need to overcome. Because as long as you're doing that, and as long as you're not teaching the gift, you are not sharing yourself with the world. Feminine energy is all about sharing yourself. So we want you to share your gift with the world, because the world needs your gift. And it's not just, how egotistical and grandiose it is for me to say the world needs my gift. We all have gifts. We all brought particular gifts. And there are specific people lined up for us who definitely need us to use our gift to help them. And so you're stepping into that. You're doing it. You're going to do it. There's no question about it. You're already seeing clients. So I think stepping into the teaching them how to do it phase won't be as big of a stretch, but it is bringing up the issues from childhood. And again, you think about not wanting to ask for help, but yet you need to get into a business where you're helping other people. And so if you see the value, overcome the issues, and have no problem asking people for help, then you'll have no problem giving help to other people too. But the feminine energy is where you need to work in order to just excel at this particular gift, which is really cool, because you know what the issues are, you know where they come from. You have other dreams that are more specific. Like I haven't covered, you sent in more dreams, one about not wearing shoes, going past a hotel, and not wanting to go into the hotel because you didn't have shoes. And shoes are about being equipped to move forward. So it's almost a sense of like, I can't ask for help because I don't know what way I need to move forward with this. When really you ask for help because you don't know what way to move forward. So it's almost like you say, I want the answers before I ask for help. And you're getting in your own way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does.
definitely. No, you have to teach because you've angels that you work with, and maybe you haven't accessed them all the time yet, but that's what the trance channeling with your part with Anne is going to be about. So there's angels that are going to step in and they're going to help you with the teaching process. But when they step in, they're most more likely going to also help clear issues that people have. So when you're teaching somebody, if they've got an issue, the issue comes up, an angel will step in and remove that issue. So it's really, it is going to be the best of both worlds in terms of your techniques and their techniques helping your students.
That's beautiful. And I feel really, really excited. This feels very resonant. It feels right.
All right. Keep sending dreams to the show.
Will do.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
everything, Michael. I so appreciate you and your work.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that's my show for this week. I do hope you enjoyed it. We've run out of time. But I do have an event of my own that's coming up this fall. We did it last year. It was a lot of fun. It's called How to Unlock the Wisdom of Your Higher Self Through Dream Interpretation. It's a free 3-day event. Everything dreams, everything free. If you're interested in attending the event, I'll give more details next week, but you can go to dream-analysis.com/free. Couldn't be easier. See you next week. Take care.